Recording started.
Hi, this is Loretta. I'd like to know if calling user is that Commissioner Legaspi, and if we can unmute him and find out.
Line on via phone until I get on there.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
We also have Joellen Baugh, Commissioner Baugh on as a caller, as an attendee.
She's also unmuted, but
Okay.
for some reason I cannot bring them as a panelist. It doesn't let me.
Okay.
But they are both unmuted.
Okay. So go ahead, Tina.
Okay, the time is 5:03 p.m. on September 14th, 2020, and I would like to call this meeting of the Sustainability Commission to order. In the interest of public health and safety pursuant to the Governor's Execution Order N-2920, members of the Sustainability Commission and staff are participating in this meeting by teleconference. In accordance with the executive order, the public may view this meeting online, but not in conference room C101, Building A. The city launched a virtual commenting portal, e-comment, that allows residents to comment and participate in the meeting from their own homes. You can find the link in the e-comment at www.chulavistaca.gov/boards. The comments must be received before I call for the closure of the commenting period in order to be considered. After the commenting period is closed, I will announce a brief pause to allow commissioners time to read any comments that may have been received. If you have difficulty or need assistance with e-comment during the meeting, please call 619-585-5766 and the Office of Sustainability staff will assist you. Would the secretary please call the roll?
Commissioner Baugh? Yasmin, can you unmute Commissioner Baugh?
She's unmuted already, but we cannot hear her.
We'll come back. Commissioner Guevara-Gluyas?
Present.
Commissioner Corrigan? Commissioner Richardson?
Present.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Present.
Vice Chair Legaspi?
Present.
And Chair Matthias?
Present.
Let's try again. Commissioner Baugh? She is present. She
I heard
just can't.
something.
Yeah.
And I believe Commissioner Corrigan may have just called in. Can you confirm, Commissioner Corrigan?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, I suppose that even if I call in, I have to unmute and mute myself from the computer. Got it.
It's tricky, I know. Yep.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, everyone's called in? Or everyone's here?
Sounds like everybody's on.
Okay. Public comments is the section on the agenda for members of the public to address the board on items that are not listed on the agenda. I will now call for a 2-minute pause to allow the public to submit any final comments. Commissioners, as a reminder, please refresh your view on your screen to ensure new comments appear.
Just a quick request for folks that are not commissioners, if you could please turn your video off. Thank you. Okay, time's up.
Okay, the commenting period for the public comments is now closed, and I'm not seeing any comments.
There are no comments on the public portal.
Okay, just confirming. Okay, so the next item on the agenda are information items, starting with item 1. And first of all, I want to say thank you for nominating me as the chair for the Sustainability Commission. In my many years of experience with environmental awareness, I plan to continue our mission to a sustainable future. Thank you, guys. I would like all the commissioners to please give a brief background introduction of yourself to the board, because we have several new commissioners on board. So I'll start with myself. I was a volunteer and programs manager for the Living Coast Discovery Center for 32.5 years, and just recently a victim of COVID-19. And now I am beginning my own nonprofit, 501c3, in sustainability, and it's called South Bay Sustainable Community Network. Anyhow, so I'm all about sustainability. I want to give as much back to the community as possible. So that's all about me. Next. Who do we go with next? Let's go how we call the roll. How about Ba? Can we hear her? Okay. How about Adriana?
Hi, I'm Adriana, and I grew up here in Chula Vista lived here 4 years, and then kind of all over the place. I came back with my family to the city. I have a background in environment and development, and I started a business here locally 2 years ago, and I'm really passionate about sustainability, and especially urban development.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Corrigan.
Yes, I have a background in education. After completing my PhD at UCLA, I did a stint of time in higher education as an assistant professor of psychology and a dean, and then more recently decided to go to law school, and I'm now a second-year law student at California Western School of Law and a resident of Otay Ranch.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Commissioner Richardson.
Yes, I have a background in public transit, primarily with 17 and might as well system. I then worked for SDGD for some 13 years, and I'm currently have my own business as a software developer here in Chula Vista.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Commissioner Rodriguez.
Good evening. My name is Angelica Rodriguez. I am a postdoctoral scholar at UCSD with the Center for Climate Change Impacts and Adaptation. My background started in physics and moved into physical oceanography, which is essentially environmental fluid dynamics. And I looked at how the impacts of climate change are affecting our local coastlines. I was raised in Chula Vista, lived for just a couple of years, and came back with my family. And my family members include business leaders and educators in the Chula Vista community.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Rodriguez. How about back to Ba? Commissioner Ba, is she available? It looks like she's trying to call in user 2, is what is popping up on my screen.
Yeah, Yasmin, I don't think we've had luck connecting here, right?
No, I just sent both commissioners the links, and again, if they can, if they want to, they can try to rejoin. But currently they are both unmuted, but I don't think we can hear them.
Okay.
I think it's
Should we
just Wow, that's the one that we can't hear.
Can
So-
you guys hear me?
Who was that?
This is
Oh,
Ed,
yeah.
Commissioner.
Oh, yeah, we missed. Yes. Ed. So, okay, Vice Chair. Yes, Vice Chair Ed. Gee, I'm not seeing you on. So Vice Chair Ed, yes, please.
Okay, well, my background in education was business administration, and in the early 90s, I got into the environmental industry through managing hazardous and industrial waste. This was along the border in Mexico and throughout the Southwest region. And my passion has been helping customers to find the best way to manage the material, finding solutions like recycling, organics, things like that. And kind of came into this with, looking at the way of managing waste better, and found out that, man, there's really a whole lot of involved with sustainability and industrial waste. So kind of what I bring to the table, and look forward to helping guide this commission as much as we can in the next step, which is our single-use plastic ban.
Mhm. Excellent. Thank you so much. Okay, I think we're going to move on. Does staff have a presentation?
No, we don't, but wanted to remind Chair that Commissioner Ba requested the calling number, so she'll try to call again, so we might be able to come back to her.
Okay, that sounds great. Sounds like a phone's ringing. Something's ringing. Okay. Do the commissioners have any clarifying questions for staff before we go to public comments? Nothing? Okay. I will now call for a 2-minute pause to allow the public to submit any final comments on the item before deliberation. As a reminder, please refresh your view on your screen to ensure new comments appear. There we go.
Hi. You guys hear me?
Oh, yes, there she is. Oh, wait, that's, hi, Maria.
Hi.
Just to let you know, we're just doing our public comment and we're almost done with this first item and we'll be right to you, Maria.
Okay, I thought the meeting started at 6.
No, 5.
Okay, sorry. I apologize.
Right on time though, it's
You're fine,
perfect.
you're okay.
All right.
Okay, the commenting time for this period is now closed, and I'm not seeing any comments. So let's move on.
Can I see something? I'm seeing comments on the.
Oh,
on the
you are?
webpage. Yes. There's Patty Prescott, Alexander Epstein, Rodney, Richard Richardson. There's several comments on the recent activity. I'm not sure whether that's this agenda or not.
They're Commissioner Richardson, they're not for this agenda, they're just general comments there for others. If you refresh, you'll see that zero comments on the top.
Okay. So, do any commissioners have questions? That was your question. So we answered that because that's comments that are open, I guess. So the next item on the agenda is item 2, city manager's remarks.
Okay.
And Maria, I think this is
me. All right. So thank you for allowing me to present to you. I really just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Maria Cacciagari. I'm from the city of Chula Vista. I've met many of you before. I've been with the city now for about 22 years, going on 23 here soon. And I've been in the city manager's office for about 5 years, working on a lot of different projects. But the majority of my career, I actually spent as a finance director, treasurer. And so a lot of my focus had been working on the city's finances, particularly during the years where we had the Great Recession. The city manager transitioned the budget over to the finance department, so I was able to really take a huge role in that process. It was very painful years. We had a lot of challenges. One of the things that I did when I was a finance director, though, is I did bring forward a revised policy to the city council to establish an emergency reserve. And we had been working over the last 10 years really to rebuild our reserves and the emergency reserves that we had approved by the council. So these were goals that we had set. And, in 2019, we actually got to the point where we had replenished our reserves and built our emergency reserves. Little did I know 2020 was going to be so challenging. But fortunately, we have the money set aside in the reserves, and we've been able to avoid massive layoffs. We did freeze about 10 positions, and 2 employees were impacted, but stayed employed with the city. So that was good news. So we really haven't had anybody lose their job, other than maybe some hourly employees because our parks and rec centers are closed, but we're actually been bringing some of them back because we're going to be getting involved in partnering with the County of San Diego to do contact tracing and doing some of our own COVID testing. So, as we're getting ready for the winter season, I really wanted to try to find as many ways as I could to try to keep our community safe and, try to provide the services that we can in the current conditions. So we have a lot of challenges, and, my focus really has been to try to do what we can, to try to keep our community safe from the virus. But, we obviously need everybody's help. Can't do this alone. So we're doing a lot more messaging and communication out to the community. Also trying to communicate more in non-English to our non-English speaking community because everyone's impacted in different ways. So we're doing everything we can there. But I have been working on the goals that I have as a city manager, and I started presenting those to our executive team today. One of the goals for me, because don't tell anybody this, but this is actually one of my favorite committees. This is my secret. I'm not telling anybody. I don't want to make anybody upset. But I love the work that you do. I think the work that you're bringing forward to the city council, the city has been very committed to addressing climate change, and we're very committed to implementing the climate action plan. So as the new city manager, I will continue that forward. So one of the goals that I have is to continue to implement the items that we have in the climate action plan. So that's one of my many goals, but it's one that I know is in good hands with the staff that we have and the direction and guidance that you provide us. Really appreciate everything that you do. I know you spend a lot of time working on these proposals, and hopefully someday soon I'll be able to actually meet and talk to you in person. But for now, this is the best we can do, and it's actually pretty impressive how quickly we were able to transition to virtual meetings. It's not perfect, we have our technical difficulties, but we're still trying to learn how to provide services in the world that we now live in. But I did just want to take a few minutes out of your day just to introduce myself and just say, thanks for everything that you're doing. And again, hopefully we'll be able to meet in person. And I appreciate all the patience as we work through some of the challenges again of trying to meet virtually. So with that, I will let you get back to your meeting. And again, thank you again for everything you do. Appreciate it. Bye. I think you're on mute, Tina.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And do any commissioners, wait, before you go, do any commissioners have any questions for Maria?
Don't forget to unmute yourselves.
The question I have is when is the city going to be announcing openings of various things like libraries and reintroducing some of the things that have been closed down for a while? Is there any forum for doing that kind of thing?
So we're going to keep our libraries and rec centers for the most part closed, meaning people can't come into the building, but we are still providing services to the public. I mean, we have passports that we're still issuing, and you can make an appointment to do that. We allow for book drop-off and pickup. So you can still check out books in the library, but you just have to call or do it online. Our rec centers are essentially closed. We really have just opened them up for, we are providing childcare, I guess what you can call it, for city employees, essential employees who have to come into work and don't have childcare services. So we have very limited number of kids that are actually utilizing our rec centers for kind of support, school support. But beyond that, I really need to make sure that we're keeping our employees safe, our community safe. So I don't really anticipate that we're going to be opening up like we had, in the past with our libraries and rec centers through the end of the current calendar year. I just don't see that happening. And I know that's happening in some counties where they're allowing for 25% occupancy. I just think that would be really difficult for our staff to monitor. And we do have some challenges with people using to wear masks. And so I just can't put our employees at risk and the community at risk by opening up these centers. But we are trying to provide services in a different way. Actually, our library staff have really transitioned and are now actually being delivering food to seniors, homebound seniors. So even though it's not the same, we're trying to keep busy and trying to support the community because there's a lot of need right now. So it really is about adjusting to the new reality to make sure that it's safe.
Excellent. Thank you. I think the key is to maybe make that more public. If you could post all that information. So I get asked all the time about what's going on with the city.
Okay.
And I can't point them to a good spot to say this is all the information you need to know about the city.
Yeah, and that's a good point, and we can certainly do better in that area. The other thing that we do is we have to get our guidance through the County of San Diego and the state of California, so they kind of set the rules. But that's a good point. We should be a little bit more transparent in terms of what we're doing.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Okay. I will now call for a 2-minute pause to allow the public to submit any final comments on the item before deliberation. And commissioners, just remember to refresh your screen for comments. Okay, the commenting period for this time is now closed. And I'm not seeing any comments. Am I correct?
Yes, there are no comments. And
Okay.
Chair Mathias, before we move on to the next item, I'd like to check on Commissioner Ball's sound.
Oh.
Maybe she could introduce herself. Commissioner Ball?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hey.
Hey, I didn't
There
have
she
an
is.
option for muting and unmuting, and I don't know why, but I went all the way back out and came back in. And on the third time it worked. So I missed a few things, but I think you were introduced, everyone was going round table, right?
Correct.
So, yes.
Introduce yourself. Perfect.
All right. I am Joellen Ball. My professional training is as a landscape architect. Worked in my career field here in San Diego and Chula Vista for the last 35 years, I guess. And particularly got involved with water conservation, working at the city of San Diego and the San Diego County Water Authority. So my interests there were in sustainability of the water resource, the landscapes, and how we use them to watersheds and stormwater. And then I think my secondary interest is in energy. So that's it.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Bob, and welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda, item 3, California Energy Commission grant partnership with SDSU, integrational of Second Life batteries with solar PV systems for commercial buildings. Does staff have a presentation?
Yes, we do. Can staff please share the presentation? And I want to remind everybody to mute while the presentations are going on, please.
I did want to remind staff that the SDSU rep has a meeting that ends at 5:30, which is right now. So
I'm here.
Excellent. Perfect. Thank you. Take it away.
All right. How's everyone doing? So my name is Kevin Wood, and I'm an assistant professor of mechanical engineering at San Diego State University. So today I'm going to give you a brief overview of our new project that's just starting up. Actually on Thursday is when the kickoff is supposed to begin. And so this is on cost-effective integration of Second Life batteries with solar PV systems for commercial buildings. That sounds long and boring, and I'll try and explain a little bit more of what that is here in the next couple slides. You want to move it forward for me? All right, so a little bit about me. I have my PhD in material science, and I have a background in electrochemistry, physics, mechanical engineering. I started at SDSU in 2018, and my laboratory, which I call the Interfacial Design Lab, consists of me, 2 PhD students, 4 master's students. Actually, this is a little bit old. I have a lot more undergrads. There's actually about 10 undergraduate students who are working with me right now. And my research interests have normally been in the area of pretty much renewable energy, fuel cells, batteries, things of that nature. And then when COVID happened, I actually got into medical devices. And my laboratory developed a low-cost ventilator system, and now we're working on a solar sterilization system, which has no power requirements from the grid or high pure water. So those are a couple things that we're working on beyond, battery research. But in addition to the CEC projects, which I'm going to tell you about, I also have a collaboration with a Swiss company that's working on trying to make lithium metal batteries, which is kind of like a next generation beyond lithium ion. We're trying to make that a reality for electric vehicles. Also do a little bit of work on separators. So that's one of the components that's inside of a battery. We do a little bit of work on that. And then I've also gotten some money recently to work on this ventilator, specifically with regards to developing nations. So just as kind of a point of interest, if you look here at this figure that's on the right, you see this kind of circular silvery looking thing, and that's actually lithium metal, and that's like 1/2 of what goes inside of a watch battery, like something that you would have in your watch. So this is one half of that. And what we're looking at there is we're really trying to understand what happens on that surface and if we can make it so that the battery can last longer and be safer. One of the ways that we do that is the graph that's right below that. There, we're looking at current and voltage. And if we can kind of monitor how the current and voltage changes, we get some idea of how the battery is behaving. And, you know, as we monitor this for like what we're going to talk about with this project, if we can monitor how the current and voltage changes, we can get some idea of how the battery is performing, if we can do some things to make it last longer, if we can do some things to make it last better, and if we can, you know, potentially isolate a dangerous event before it would happen. You know, as you guys are probably aware, there can be, you know, dangerous events that occur with lithium ion batteries. So, you know, those are a few of the things that we do in my lab. So if you go to the next slide, we'll talk a little bit more about the project. So this specific project that we're partnering with Chula Vista on, the vision is to really reuse electric vehicle batteries to develop a grid scale battery. So we're going to take old batteries that are no longer high enough capacity in electric vehicles. You know, there's a pretty high demand for, you know, the capacity requirement, the performance requirements for electric vehicles. But just because they may not be good enough for electric vehicles anymore doesn't mean that they wouldn't be just perfectly fine for grid scale storage. So that's the goal, is that we're going to take some of these batteries that are no longer good enough for electric vehicles. We're going to integrate them into one functioning battery with one battery management system. And we are going to use that in conjunction with a commercial photovoltaic or solar cell system. And we're going to come up with this system in under 3 years. And we're going to hopefully be able to address some of the key technological hurdles that are preventing this sort of technology from being utilized currently. So what are these hurdles? Well, one of the big things is the selection of the proper second life batteries. You know, just because it comes from one vehicle doesn't mean that it's all, you know, everything's going to be perfect. So we have to kind of monitor which batteries we select, and we have to come up with some criteria for that. And then another thing is that since these batteries have already been used, having some sort of idea of the state of health of these batteries and being able to accurately predict how long they're going to last is an important thing that we have to be able to address. And then in addition to that, as we identify, you know, one cell may not be performing well, or one, you know, whole, you know, what we would call a pack, battery pack, is not performing well, we need to be able to isolate that, be able to take that off of the battery before it ends up causing some sort of problem, or before you know, the performance of the system starts to degrade. So, you know, those are a few of the things that we have to, the hurdles that we have to address in this project. So how are we going to do that? Well, my laboratory focuses, we're, you know, mechanical engineers, but we focus a lot on chemistry. And so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of we're going to come up with what we've termed this battery genome. And what that's going to do is we're going to kind of look at those voltage and current shifts that I was telling you about. And we're going to try and understand those and kind of get some sort of fingerprint or identification or some monitoring of how the system is actually behaving. So if we see a shift in the voltage, or if we see a little, you know, bump in the voltage, or a spike, or it changes voltage a little bit faster, or different things like that, this can be something that we will utilize to help us say, okay, we need to not use the system as aggressively right now. We need to slow down how the system is charging or discharging, and kind of monitor each individual cell that is within this battery. So for those of you that aren't aware, you know, a battery, so like if you have a Tesla, the way that a Tesla works is there's about 8,000 to 10,000 individual cells, like what would look like a AA battery, that are inside of that Tesla vehicle. Well, each of those cells behaves in a certain way, right? And that's really what we need to monitor. Because if we're going to take 8,000 as in one pack, and we need like 15 packs, right, to be able to run one building, we've got a whole lot of cells that we have to monitor and we have to be able to control and understand. And so that's one of the things that we're going to be working on with this battery genome. Then we'll use this battery genome that we've created, so these understanding of how voltage and current is changing within the battery. We'll use this to help us select the proper batteries, and also improve state of health estimations, so that the battery performs better and it's more accurate to what we say it's going to deliver. And then beyond that, we're also going to use this same sort of battery genome to help enable proactive maintenance, do predictive thermal management, and also be able to handle demand response events as well. So if you have all of a sudden you need a lot of power in one moment, this battery will be able to handle some of those peak sort of events and reduce the demand that is being pulled on the grid at any one moment. So the final deliverables from this are going to be, we're actually going to create 2 pilot test facilities. One is going to be at Chula Vista's Veterans Park, and then another one is actually going to be at SDSU's Children's Center. So, ultimately, when we look at this whole 3-year project, the goal is really to create a grid scale battery that's going to be able to last for a minimum of 10 years and have a degradation rate of less than 3% annually. So if you can go to the next slide. So what is Chula Vista supporting? How is Chula Vista helping us support this project? So obviously one way is through the Veterans Park Recreation Center as a test site. And this is where we will, be able to test some of these, the strategy that we've developed over this 3-year project, where we'll be able to test it at scale. And then we'll have one person from Chula Vista who will dedicate about 1 day a week to help with this. And then Chula Vista, as a result of this, Chula Vista is going to get a 280 kilowatt hour second life battery system. This is going to be connected to the solar system that's already there on the parking structure roof. And this system will be able to handle a peak power of 56 kilowatts. So we see this partnership as having several significant impacts. And, we see these as, potentially long-term impacts as well. And that's that, we can help create, there's going to be an environmental impact in the sense that we can extend the life of these EV batteries. Instead of them just going to be recycled or have to figure out how to do disposal of these, we're going to be able to utilize them for a much longer period of time, right? So there's going to be an environmental impact. Secondly, cost, or, the whole point of this is that we're going to be able to lower the cost to the California ratepayer. And then, there's an economic benefit to this as well. And this would be that we could create new technology, potentially spin up and start up new business opportunities. And then also, looking at this, there's an academic avenue to this as well, where we can open up new opportunities for future collaborations as the years progress. So with that, I would just like to say thank you so much for your commitment to energy efficiency, sustainability, innovation, and really supporting us. Dennis and I have worked on this or have worked together on a couple of different projects here for the last couple of years. And so we're really excited that this one has been funded and selected. And, we look forward to making a really exciting and sustainable system here. So I'm happy to take any questions if you have them.
Yeah, I have a question here. Is your lab also developing the balancing boards for these cells? They're all functioning properly. That's part of what you do as well.
So this is actually a project that has 5 different labs in it, and I'm just one aspect of that. And there is a lab that is at SDSU, Professor Chris Mee, and he does that sort of work. So we're collaborating. This is I neglected to say this, but this is a collaboration between SDSU, we're the lead institution, and then UCSD and UCR as well. So University of California, Riverside. So those are the 3 universities that are participating.
Thank you.
Yeah.
May I ask a question?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yes, I'll mute.
So you touched on it briefly, but I would appreciate a bit of a broader background to the project, like who funds it, what are the partners, and how is Chula Vista, or how did Chula Vista become involved with this?
Yeah. So and step in if you want me to address any, other specifics here. But Dennis and I have been working on this project, who's the Chief Sustainability Officer. He and I have been working on this project or have been working together. We started off working on a National Science Foundation proposal. which was going to be looking at trying to improve accessibility to electric transportation. So similar, working with electric vehicles and trying to improve accessibility to electrified transportation. And through our connections and our collaborations on that proposal, this opportunity came up. This is through the California Energy Commission. Solicit these, funding opportunity announcements, basically just saying, this is something that we would like to see addressed. What is your ideas on how would you, work on this project? And that's the idea of taking a second life EV battery and using it to store energy from a solar panel. And so we, me and my colleague Chris Mee came up with the idea for this proposal. We went around to a few different institutions, said this is what we're looking on. This is how we think you guys might be able to partner with us. And then I reached out to Dennis and said, this was what we're interested in. This is what we're thinking about. Would Chula Vista potentially be interested in partnering with us? And that's how we. That's how we got to where we're at. I just got a notification that popped up saying my bandwidth is low. Were you able to hear me through all that?
We can hear you.
Okay. So, that's kind of how we got to this point. We wrote a proposal, submitted it to California Energy Commission back actually right at the beginning of COVID. And then we were awarded the proposal, I believe, in June or July. And they've had a few paperwork issues, and we're just about to get off the ground here this week. So I don't know if you want more background, I'm happy to give it to you.
No, that was great. Thank you. And what is the project length? How long is it?
3 years. 3 years. So it should be over in 2023.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to, I don't know if this is necessarily a question, it may not be. This is more for Manuel, I suppose. There were 2 artifacts attached in preparation for this presentation, correct? The first title entitled and subject line Sustainability Commission Approval to Accept a Battery Disposal Education Grant. And then of course the actual details of the grant agreement or contract itself.
That's actually the next item. It's an action item, so it's not regarding this information item.
Okay, then there's no question. I knew that there was something that required clarification because there seemed to be a slight misalignment, but nonetheless, I'm excited about your project.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. This was great.
There's another question.
Yeah, I had a question. Are we talking to me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I was just wondering, are the batteries that you're reusing from hybrid cars or purely electric cars?
So purely electric. The hybrid batteries typically don't, well, this isn't always the case. Electric vehicle batteries are more what we're targeting. I'll just put it that way. So the cars that we're currently looking at are from the Chevy Volt or the Chevy Bolt. And the Nissan Leaf batteries. Those are a couple of the ones that we're most interested in looking at. We haven't finalized a decision on which direction we're going with those yet, but those are the batteries that we're looking at, and those are purely electric vehicle car batteries.
Is there any reuse of the hybrid batteries, which probably there are more of and they're older?
Yeah, there is, but they have a little different power requirements, and there's a little bit different set of like safety criteria for those. There are a lot of them. So if you look at the Toyota Prius, which is the most common, what I would call hybrid vehicle, that a lot of those batteries are nickel metal hydride batteries, which is different than lithium ion battery. And so the power density and the lifetime requirements are more well suited to lithium ion than nickel metal hydride, and combining systems like combining a lithium ion battery and a nickel metal hydride battery is really, really difficult and really challenging, and you don't want to do that. So, and in addition to that, the CEC call actually specified electric vehicles and not hybrids. I'm not 100% sure for their reasoning on that, but those are a couple of the reasons that, we're going this direction.
And Chair, there was another question from Commissioner Rodriguez.
Thank you. I have just a couple other questions. The first one is about the city staff that has about 1 day per week on this. Do you have an idea about what this person is going to do? And then the second part of that is, if everything is successful in your project and you are able to overcome the hurdles that you outlined, what is the outlook for scalability?
What is say that one more time, the last part of that?
The outlook for scalability.
Okay.
Broadening the application.
Yeah. So I'll tackle the second part first. So I think that, if this project is successful, really what's going to have to be done is there's going to have to be some sort of, MOU or memorandum of, understanding in place, probably with an electric vehicle manufacturer, to really make it scalable and cost effective. Because a lot of times these electric vehicle manufacturers kind of like to hold onto their technology. And so they kind of hoard their own batteries, even though they're not usable, because they don't want people to, take them apart or try and figure out their trade secrets or different things like that. Some people do get a handle of these batteries and then they try and sell them, but they're usually at a fairly decent cost because they've had to pull them out of the cars and they've had to do some sort of safety analysis on them and different things. So really what would need to happen is that I think that there is a huge opportunity here. And I think that this could be a very sustainable outlook for how, we could move forward with grid scale storage. But we have to eliminate the middleman in the sense of going from, okay, so if it's going to come out of a car and then somebody is going to buy the car and rip the battery out and then charge you for that battery, there's a lot of markup in that second life battery, right? And you'd probably be just almost as good going to a second life or just, buying a brand new battery, right? So, what we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate the potential here. And then I think that then what you can do is you can get a lot of the car manufacturers on board of like, okay, yes, this is an opportunity. Let's work with this company and try and, come up with some sort of agreement where they'll use our batteries and they can create these grid scales, energy storage systems. That I really see this working, sustainably, moving beyond this 3-year project. And then, your first question, with regards to the personnel, I think that the personnel is really going to kind of help facilitate, addressing some of these challenges with regards to understanding the current system that's in place, the current needs and infrastructure, helping us obtain, different, permits that we need to be able to actually go about this process. There's a lot of paperwork and, check marks and different things that we have to go through. And I think that they'll kind of be our liaison to Chula Vista to help us, make sure that we're all on the same page and that we're taking care of, all of the things that we need to from a paperwork standpoint, and also understanding, exactly what things need to be done with regards to the energy demands of the Veterans Park and things of that nature. Dennis, do you have anything else that you want to add to that?
No, good evening, commissioners. My name is Dennis Kakunga. Yes, that's correct. So this person will be helping with the coordination of the project and any other duties. And one of the things that I also did want to mention is, as Kevin mentioned, we've been working for a while, but we've always made it a priority to try and build some kind of a relationship with San Diego State. So we're very excited that we were able to partner on this. As part of that, we also wrote a letter of commitment on this project from our city. And we'll be working together as this project unfolds to find out the best ways that we can continue to complement each other on this project.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I do agree that this is a great project, and I could see how it would definitely help out with the CCAs that are coming on board within the next year. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will now, let's see, the commissioners have, okay, I will now call for a 2-minute pause to allow the public to submit any comments on this item. And as a reminder, please refresh your view on your screen to ensure new comments. Okay, the commenting period for this item is now closed. Have the commissioners had enough time to read? Oh, actually, I don't see any comments. Am I correct?
That's correct. No comments to this item.
Okay, then let's see. The next agenda are action items. Let's see. The item listed in this section of the agenda will be considered individually by the board commission and are expected to elicit discussion and deliberation. If you wish to comment on one of the following items, please submit comments electronically. You guys got that? The action item is number 4, review and recommend to the City Council to accept the Recycling Partnership Grant for residential battery recycling education in the amount of $180,000. City staff recommendations: approved to accept this grant and forward to the City Council for approval. Does staff have a presentation?
Yes, we do. Can please staff link up the presentation? And as we do that, I'd like to introduce the two gentlemen that are going to be giving this presentation. First, Joseph Coppola, who's a sustainability specialist here with us at the environmental services side. He is our lead project manager for all the household hazardous waste and used oil programs that we have. A lot of them are regional. He started with us as an intern out of San Diego State, and he's now handling these very important projects for us. And also Spence Davenport from the Recycling Partnership will also be joining Joseph to do part of this presentation, which is really important. Recycling Partnership came to us to talk to us about this partnership and about this grant to help alleviate some of the issues that occur when folks place batteries in either recycling containers or trash containers. There's a lot of issues with fires and others that come in, so they'll elaborate on that. Go ahead, guys.
Thank you, Manuel. Can everyone hear me?
Very low.
Spence, are you there?
I'm here, Joe.
All right. Well, this is a perfect presentation to follow Professor Wood's presentation. We'll be talking about batteries as well, but much smaller batteries. So as Manuel mentioned, we're here tonight. First of all, good evening, everyone. We're here tonight to present to you an opportunity that we have for a grant with the Recycling Partnership, and we hope to get your support on it. Next slide, please, Colleen. So I'm going to actually give it over to Spence right now, and he's going to elaborate a little bit more on how the City of Chula Vista was chosen for this grant. So Spence, take it away.
Thank you, and thanks, commissioners, for letting me join you today. So the Recycling Partnership is a nationwide organization, and what we're really focused on is improving the curbside recycling system as a whole and providing resources for communities around the nation. And this opportunity is exciting for us. It's a little outside of our typical focus, and it's because there's a lot of problems, there's a lot of reports, and there's just a lot of data to show that batteries are problematic and cause fires, whether they're in the back of a collection vehicle, at a transfer station, at a materials recovery facility or a recycling center, or even at the landfill. So this allows us to work with a community that's got a great team already in place, and some of the requirements were that it was in California and it had a certain amount of level of population, and that was around 50,000 households. And so Chula Vista checked all those boxes, and we've worked with Manuel a little bit in the past, and we're aware of his program, and that was why you guys really rose quickly to the top of our list to work with. So we're going to get into the details a little bit here of the actual grant and the work, but that is the high level overview of what we do. I guess just to kind of tell you a little bit about the Recycling Partnership as a whole. We've been around since 2014. We've raised and leveraged about $90 million in impact, and we work with private companies to deploy dollars to create public-private partnerships across the U.S. So our goal is to get more recyclables through the curbside system and into new products. And we do that by granting such as this, but most of our grant dollars go to creating opportunities to put carts on the street, so to actually supplement community budgets and allow them to actually purchase the carts, but then to layer that with community education so that the carts actually become successful in getting the right types of recyclables in. And we do a lot of research and create a lot of best practices. And this is kind of a mix of both of those opportunities. And I think in this year, we expect to deploy our 1 millionth cart. And so that's a really big milestone for us that we're excited about.
Okay, next slide, Colleen. And again, Spence is going to elaborate a little bit more on the accomplishments of the recycling partnership.
Yeah, so this is going to give us an opportunity to create basically a toolkit for the nation to say, you know, Chula Vista has a lot of the same setup as a lot of other cities do across the U.S. You've got a household hazardous waste facility. You've got a great team who's trying hard. Batteries are a problem, but when you think about recycling, you're usually thinking about cardboard and plastic bottles. So this allows us to provide a lot of research into behavioral psychology on how to get folks to engage with the message that we're trying to deploy across the city, and to get them to think before they put a battery inside of the recycling bin or in their trash cart, and direct them towards the household hazardous waste facility. So what we'll do is we got $180,000 we're going to deploy, and well, I guess Joe, you're going to get into that a little bit more, but it's all about creating something that can be replicable across the U.S. So Chula Vista is in a good spot where we're going to partner with you guys, create and perfect the handouts and the mailers and the cart tags, which we will do across the city, and test the results in a very scientific way so that we can say, okay, you know, this has met our expectations, and this is something that could be successful across the U.S.
Perfect. Okay, next slide, please, Colleen. So as Spence and Manuel both touched on, battery disposal is dangerous, not only from fires that can happen due to usually when a battery, you know, its power, it loses power. If the terminals touch, you know, there's that potential there for a fire to start. Of course, you have the issue of if, you know, they are improperly disposed, leaching into groundwater, you know, things like that. So that's the main reason why we're interested in this grant, is to, you know, help educate the residents and let them know really that there are dangers presented with batteries. A lot of people, I think, believe you can just throw them in the trash and, you know, there's no issue. So as I said, our ultimate goal is to reduce incidents of batteries entering the waste and recycling streams via a robust campaign that I'll touch on in a little bit. And then also Spence did mention a toolkit that we'd like to, you know, create with this and utilize it across the nation. So did you want to touch on that a little bit more, Spence, or on the toolkit?
Yeah, so a typical toolkit that we would do, this is a really great example of one, is we will do a direct-to-consumer or direct-to-citizen outreach, and that includes a flyering of all curbside carts. It includes a mailer to all homes for single-family homes, and then it layers on our digital outreach strategies. So with those multiple layers of reaching out to residents, about a very specific call to action, we expect to see really great results. And we'll be working with the team at Chula Vista to really nail down the specifics of what the unique situation in Chula Vista is. But using kind of these tried and true methods, we could really build it out and scale this so that it could be provided to recycling coordinators across the U.S. that maybe don't have a full team, maybe don't have the hours or the funds to really engage their citizens about battery recycling, but they could visit our website and download all this material for free. So with Chula Vista being our partner, we're not only engaging and using these strategies to help your local citizens, but it'll be something that can really help the U.S. as a whole.
Yes, definitely. Okay, thank you. Next slide, please, Colleen. So what will we be getting with this? It's going to be $150,000 in reimbursable grant funds, and then $30,000 to conduct before and after surveys. These will be online surveys. We think that will probably be the best reach. So in total, it'll be $180,000 in reimbursable grant funds. And then the partnership will also be providing us up to $125,000 of in-kind resources. And that will include a combination of educational materials and technical assistance. Next slide, please. So we'll get a little bit more into the campaign and what we can expect. It will kick off next month, and it will include digital advertising and social media. As Spence mentioned a little bit, we're going to have direct-to-citizen outreach, and that's going to kind of be in the form of tagging. So, to help reinforce a proper recycling behavior, we'll implement a tagging program, and it's going to be about 52,000 households, and that will include team members going out and placing these informational tags on these 52,000 households on their recycling carts, and that will probably have a pretty big impact because that's something that the resident will have to see when they go out and they bring their recycling cart back in. We'll have other unique opportunities such as transit shelter signage. So as you can see there in the little graphic, that's something that we hope to include is to have some ads about battery, proper battery disposal, and I think that will also help to reach a good amount of people. Next slide, please. So this campaign is expected to end in about a year, October 2021. The campaign the actual meat of the work will actually be for about a month. And that's, going to be when we will be creating the ads and, doing any media buying or anything like that, putting the ads out there. For our social media, the City of Chula Vista will most likely utilize our social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, with the help of the partnership. And so after, as I said, the meat of the campaign is done, the work is done, then we'll kind of be, for the following months up until October 2021, we'll just be managing our social media accounts and, just seeing how that goes. And then also the effectiveness of the campaign. And then at the end, we'll be reporting the results. We'll have a report that will be due to the recycling partnership. Is there anything you wanted to add, Spence? Anything I'm missing?
Just that we would put together a big case study, big press release, and with Manuel's, we're gonna work with Manuel and his team's desired steps, but the idea is that we could really create the toolkit, but also a nice press kit to go along with this and celebrate the hopeful wins that we'll be having.
Yes, for sure. Okay. All right. Well, I think in a nutshell, we wanted to keep it short and sweet. That's pretty much it. Do you have any questions or comments?
I have a question. Do you have a baseline? Are you basically looking at the number of batteries that are going into the disposal now and wanting to see a change from that? How are you going to measure success other than just getting your campaign out?
That's a great question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. I can follow up after you.
Yeah, that'd be great. So we are, that's really spot on. We're not going to be judging and measuring inbound batteries. So it's going to be based on awareness. So we're going to do a survey prior to the campaign to gauge residents' understanding of, do you know where to take your batteries? Do you know they don't belong in the recycling bin, for example? Do you know that the lithium-ion batteries can create fires at your recycling center? A series of questions that'll really inform us the level of knowledge that the residents have. And then on the back end, after this campaign has gone through, follow up and do another survey exact same way to understand if the messaging has been retained. So it's less about, it's just really hard to get a very apples to apples battery measurement just because of the seasonality and the usage inconsistencies with batteries in your home. Some people will try to get rid of 2 AA batteries when they pull them out of the remote control. Other people will, hold on to 4 or 5, or in my mom's case, 20. And it's just hard to really manage that. So I love that question so much, but in this case, it's just more about awareness.
Okay, yes, 2 other related questions. Where does the money come from that you're using for this? And secondarily, do you have a city match that you require?
It's another great question. Thank you. So we have a series of funders, and they're mostly consumer packaged goods companies. If you visit our website, which is just recyclingpartnership.org, you can see our roster of funders, and they range everything from Pepsi, Coke, Procter & Gamble, Walmart. It's a long list. So this is from a consortium of funders, and this is a really technology focused. The specific group just trying to stay private for right now on the funding side, but it is a consortium of various funders from the private side, and there's no requirement for matching. This is $180,000 just to really dig up and understand and have a lot of new learnings.
Thank you.
I have a couple of questions. Did somebody else want to go, or am I next in line?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm really confused about the nature of the research design component. In the artifact that was cited, there was a before and after, pre and post, in other words, survey design. I was really hoping to see some of the materials, which I imagine might be forthcoming, but given that there's $180,000 involved, I would assume that those materials would be provided to the commission, especially because there were references in your presentation as well in the artifacts to trying to determine causality. But then toward the end of your presentation, you had suggested almost that this was sort of an exploratory or feasibility analysis. I'm not really sure which, because those are 2 very different things. So the materials are key. So, we really need more clarity with regard to your survey, its design, your selection of independent variables. You had talked about the fact that this was scientific, right? So I assume that the selection and design of your independent variables has been informed by literature. That would be step one, right? in terms of designing this, or is there a previous questionnaire? Are you going to be asking, the same citizens who were in the pre-group post? Yeah, I really don't have any understanding of how you would test the relative effectiveness of any of these strategies, because there was almost no clarity on the research design.
Do you want to
Yeah, Joe, I can go. Yeah, so we will use some political surveying companies that we will have as a third party that will help us in terms of measuring using the same individuals before and after. No, that'll not be possible. So we'll be trying to do build up a pool before and build up a pool afterwards of respondents so that we can get statistically relevant summary of results. Beforehand, we do have a toolkit that is being built as we speak. So that is in a different part of the project. This specific grant for $180,000 is just for deployment of the materials that we have and media buying. So we're bringing together multiple components here to.
So if you're going to be deploying money, then the materials that you're deploying have to be of high quality, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm just I don't really know what we're voting on here exactly. I mean, I think that there's a basic structure, but there is a significant amount of thinking that has to be added to this, at least in its presentation form, for me to even feel comfortable offering an opinion.
So Commissioner Corrigan, this is Manuel. Excuse me. So the outreach pieces will be developed as we move along through the grant. We have a year, under a year to develop them. So we could always come back to the commission to present some of these different outreach pieces. But what you would be approving today would be recommend that we accept this, or to recommend council to accept this grant. But as the pieces are developed, we could come back to the commission and give a presentation on how we're deploying them.
I would really like that. So now, thank you for that clarification. That makes sense. I think the idea is commendable, and so if we're voting on, the idea and initiating the process, then I think that would make sense. But I'd love to see the design, and of course, as always, this is my area of expertise. You're free to use me anytime.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, are there any more questions from commissioners? Okay, I will now call a 2-minute pause to allow the public to submit final comments on the item before on deliberation. As a reminder, please refresh your view on your screen to ensure new comments appear. Thank you, honey. Just pull out one. Okay, the commenting period for this item is now closed. Have the commissioners had, oh, there's nothing, no comments, correct? I'm not seeing.
That's correct.
Okay. Okay. So next would be announcements.
Chair, we need a motion.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. Would you please announce for, okay. Have the commissioners had enough time? Yes. Would you please announce for the record the numbers of comments received? Nothing. Sorry, I'm going through my list. Okay, I would like to have a motion that we accept this $180 grant for residential battery recycling education and a partnership with, or to accept the recycling partnership grant. Does that sound okay? All in favor? No.
We need a first.
No, I need a first. Yes, that's right. Okay. Like a first?
Hi, this is Joellen, and I move that we we recommend the acceptance of the $180,000 grant for the battery recycling program.
Okay, and someone got to second the motion?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 We'll have to call the
Okay,
roll, please.
Oh, we have to do roll.
Yeah, just to see who, what the vote is like. So, Commissioner Ball,
Aye.
Commissioner Guevara-Gluyas,
Aye.
Commissioner Corrigan,
Aye.
Commissioner Richardson,
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
Aye.
Vice Chair Legaspi,
Aye.
and Chair Mathias.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, and so it was Bahu first and Rodriguez seconded, if I'm not mistaken.
Should we confirm?
I thought I seconded, but anybody else can say.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Okay. We got it.
You guys got it? Okay. Thank you. The next action item on action 5, discussion and action to recommend the City Council that the City of Chula Vista join the San Diego Green New Deal Alliance and request the city manager to send a letter drafted by the commission to council to make that request. Take action to send the letter. Staff recommendation is to take action to send the letter directed by the commission. Does the staff have a presentation?
We do not. It's an item brought to us by Commissioner Legaspi.
Yeah, we brought this up at the last meeting, but we didn't have the actual motion at hand. So this is the motion here that will be machine and I don't know. It's just basically a letter to get it over to the city so they can take this under consideration at some time. But we went into details at the last meeting, and then we had David Roberts give that presentation from the Alliance.
Yes. And I believe, wasn't that letter attached?
Yes.
The letter should be attached. Yep.
Yep. Okay. So then I'd have a motion to accept the letter that was attached.
I move to accept the letter attached.
I second.
Well, before we move on to that, we have to display the 2-minute.
Oh, okay.
So for the public. And then also request if there's any questions from the commissioners.
Are there any questions from the commissioners? Nope. Okay, let's go ahead and 2-minute pause to allow the public to submit any final comments on the item before. As a reminder, please refresh your view on the screen to ensure new comments appear. Okay, so the commenting period for this item is now closed. Have the commissioners have the, I don't see any comments, correct?
Actually, there is one comment in favor.
Okay, I'm not seeing that. Okay, so there's one comment in favor. So did you guys all see that? Did you have any comments on that comment? Okay, so let's go ahead and vote to see if we are okay with sending the letter to the commission or to the council. And it's a letter to join the San Diego, for the city of Chula Vista to join the San Diego Green New Deal Alliance. Does that sound good?
We need a motion
Motion.
and a second.
Okay, is there a motion?
Just as before, I move that we send the letter to the council.
Okay, thanks, Commissioner Corrigan. Anyone second it?
And I second it.
Okay, and Ba. Okay, so you guys want to do the roll call?
Yes, Commissioner. Commissioner Bob.
Sorry, I was muted. Sorry, here I am, and it's a yes.
Commissioner Gluyas.
Same, yes.
Commissioner Corrigan.
Aye.
Commissioner Richardson.
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez.
Aye.
Vice Chair Legaspi.
Yes.
And Chair Mathias.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, great.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah, I think you can.
I guess the motion passes, right?
Yes.
I just wanted to thank Manuel for helping shepherd this. A motion was made and a memorandum was made, and he gave me some great guidance on this, because if we did it the other way, which was, I think originally this was going to go, it would take months and get stuck in legal. So the way it's formatted now, we should get this over to the city council. So thank you for your help and guidance there, Manuel.
So you're welcome. Colleen also assisted in this as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Colleen.
Okay, thank you. So we're down to, sorry guys. So we're on the action item on the agenda is item 6. Okay, so consideration of a Sustainability Commission resolution commemorating former Chair Oscar Romo's contributions to the commission. Okay, is he here? Is he unmuted?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so I would like to read a resolution of appreciation. Whereas Oscar Romo served on the Sustainability Commission for 8 years, providing community continually during a period of high membership turnover, whereas Oscar Romo provided leadership to the commission by serving as chair on 2 separate occasions, and whereas Oscar Romo expanded the focus of the commission to encompass the interconnection principles of people, planet, peace, and prosperity, promoting an update to city ordinances to incorporate these principles and fostering an environment of cooperation across all city departments and commissions in making Chula Vista a sustainable city. Whereas Oscar Romo shared his extensive experience, vision, and commitment to a sustainable future, establishing a solid foundation on which future commissions can build. Now, therefore, it is hereby resolved that the members of the Sustainability Commission express their deepest appreciation to Oscar Romo for his contribution to the city of Chula Vista and offer their best wishes for even greater contributions in the future. Thank you, Oscar.
Thank you. Thank you, Tina. Can I address the commission?
Yes.
Well, I'm very happy to address it. And first of all, I'd like to congratulate you personally for being now who's leading the efforts of the commission, but also for, after 32 years of service, kind of revamping, gathering your energy to now run your own nonprofit. That's impressive.
Thank you.
I want to congratulate Commissioner Legaspi for helping you on this effort to lead the commission, and Commissioner Rodriguez for joining the commission. I think she's going to contribute a lot. Yeah. After serving the city for many years in diverse positions and situations, I matured a conviction that the city of Chula Vista can develop a comprehensive vision and an identity to be recognized as one of the most sustainable global cities. A vision that, if developed, must be shared by its leaders so they can make consensus decisions about who, when, and how they want to manage the migration of people, ideas, and investments into Chula Vista. A vision recognizing the values and the unique features, recognizable features of a sustainable city that resonate very strongly with our residents, but particularly with the new generations and their families. I don't think that it's enough to have excellence in city administration or good governance. Global cities must generate a new and distinctive identity to satisfy the interests, skills, and ambitions of its residents. Covering great public facilities or accommodating green space, giving access to alternative energy or to smart communications, or even the new generation of public services has become a standard and a must in every modern city. So I think that the city of Chula Vista should go beyond that. We're witnessing the departure of many of our most recognized achievements from the past. Our means of transportation are fast changing. Fossil fuels are becoming a liability rather than an asset. Emissions are a threat. From surface streets to highway, they are becoming expensive monuments to an obsolete technology that soon will be replaced. I can go and on this, but I just want to add that the Sustainability Commission has the opportunity, the great responsibility to fulfill the expectations of many residents and to serve as an example for other commissions in Chula Vista and in other cities. I'm not suggesting that you as members of this commission are responsible to redesign our city systems, but as public officials that you are, you have the power and the extraordinary opportunity to initiate the process to make Chula Vista a global sustainable city. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I think Manuel had something to say too from city staff.
Well, we were going to, next on the agenda is asking if there's any other comments from commissioners.
Oh, any, yes. Any comments from commissioners?
I guess I have a comment. I agree to the perspective that Oscar brought to the commission, as I was new to the commission at the time, and his experience and his background and his enthusiasm are contagious. And I think that it's not normal, I guess, to present a recognition like this for chair people who are leaving. But under the circumstances where we never got an opportunity to really thank you in person and be able to have a kind of a party with all of Tina's goodies to share for Oscar, that it seemed appropriate in this case to do a resolution to certainly commemorate the effort and the contribution that Oscar made. So I'm certainly in favor of the resolution.
Yes. Any other commissioners?
Yeah, I'd like to personally thank Commissioner Romo for all his work here for the city of Chula Vista, and also extend to him an appreciation for the work he's done in the region. He's very involved when it comes to sustainability throughout San Diego and along the border, including Tijuana. So really been a big plus for us here in Chula Vista. So thank you again, Oscar, for everything you've done.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Oscar. Okay. Does staff have a presentation?
We do not have a presentation, but I'd like to highlight some of the work that Commissioner Romo and Chair Romo had during his tenure, going back to amended ordinances that he helped us draft and gave comment to, like the gray water stub out. There was a new requirement for homes that to promote water conservation and outdoor gray water use. The car sharing ordinance to promote car sharing services. The community facility district, also with a goal to and policies to document and create to allow green energy and improvements. Other amended ordinances include the municipal code changes that, if you recall, he actually is the one who spearheaded the effort to change the name of the commission to from Resource Conservation Commission to the Sustainability Commission. Also with the commercial outdoor lighting ordinances, which require LEDs, LED lights and outdoor commercial applications, residential solar as well. You also helped us spearhead and get through some policies like the climate action plan implementation and stormwater waste and wastewater programs, the parks and open space programs. Going back to others and other policies like the shade tree policy, the recycling market development zone program, Bayfront Park cultural and development facilities, which created a Bayfront culture and design committee, helped create the design committee, and also helped us through the city operations sustainability plan, which is due for update soon. The PACE program, and I'm almost done here. It's the policies that he helped us also work on, the Bayfront Natural Resources Management Plan, the Water Stewardship Plan, the Climate Action Plan, and he also helped us start with the Zero Waste Plan. So thank you very much for all your work in the commission, Oscar, and it's a pleasure working with you, and hopefully we'll be hearing from you soon.
Thank you, Manuel. Pleasure working with the city and you personally. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Oscar. Really appreciate that. Quite extensive list of accomplishments there. And I will now call for a 2-minute pause to allow the public to submit any final comments on the item before commission deliberation. So the commenting period for this item is now closed, and I do see that we have one comment, and I don't have access to it. Can someone tell me what that says?
It's a very nice comment from Caroline Schofield, thanking Commissioner Romo for all his great work. Thank you.
There we go. Okay. Do any of the commissioners have any more questions? Nope. Okay, so then we're going to take a motion to accept this resolution. And who wants to go first? Okay, there we go. But Vice Chair Legaspi, he's first. Anyone want to second that motion?
I'll second it.
Okay, excellent, Richardson. So, all in favor?
We have to do it by roll call. I'm sorry.
Yep. No, I know. That's what I was leading you into that.
Okay, Commissioner Baugh?
Aye.
Commissioner Guevara-Guyas?
Yes.
Commissioner Corky?
Aye.
Commissioner Richardson?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Aye.
Vice Chair Legaspi?
Aye.
And Chair Matthias?
Absolutely.
Motion passes.
Excellent. Yay!
Break out the cookies.
Yes, don't worry. Oscar, I think you'll be getting a little basket at some point very soon. So keep an eye out for that. You'll be getting a call.
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Yay, it's great seeing you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll
I
be
couldn't
thinking
find
your
where the
head.
camera was.
I'll be picking your brain, by the way, too. So hopefully you'll be able to help out. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Where are we now? 6. Okay. Oh, sorry, guys. Next on the agenda is 7, staff comments. Do we have any staff comments?
Hi, yes, this is Colleen. Hopefully that's okay, Manuel, that I'm going first. Just wanted to remind folks, I don't know if any of the commissioners, I know there's a few folks from the public on the call earlier that have been attending our summer sustainability series. We did a series of 9 total webinars. We have 2 remaining. This week it's food waste, tips for preventing food waste. That's this Thursday at 4 p.m. Next Thursday at 4 p.m., there's a session about sustainability at the library, and we'll be talking about some new sustainable home kits you can check out from the library. Again, that's at 4 p.m. on Thursday. And if you go to our website for that, so it's just chulavistaca.gov/clean, you'll see the summer sustainability series there, and you can click on that for all the info and how to register. In addition, we're starting another series as this one kind of wraps up. It's a little more technical. It's the sustainable building series. The first one will be at noon on Tuesday, the 22nd, and it will cover new energy efficiency standards and quality insulation installation. And then there'll be a few more after that that are a little bit more technical. But anyone's welcome to join those. There'll be about 4 or 5 of those from now to the end of 2020. I wanted to remind folks that the Climate Change Working Group meeting is this Wednesday from 3 to 5 p.m. Vice Chair Legaspi might be filling us in a little bit more on that in a moment. And I wanted to mention as well, a really exciting thing we'll be kicking off with staff in the next couple of weeks. October is Energy Efficiency Month, in case you didn't know. So we're doing a really fun but informative campaign for city staff that are working both at home and at the office. It's trying to get folks, it's a fun-friendly competition to promote sustainable behaviors. So it's a behavioral change campaign to help increase the sustainability ethic of our staff and also help folks save money on their utility bills at home, and the city to save money on the utility bills here at the city. So that'll be running for staff the month of October, and it's kind of cool because there'll be competition between departments and then as well for individual staff taking place in this. So that kicks off in October, and I think that's all the updates I had. We'll pass it to Manuel.
All right, so just wanted to give a little further information on the workshop this Thursday at 4. It's the San Diego Food Systems Alliance will be presenting on prevention of food waste at home and our everyday lives. Really good information The staff and the Food Systems Alliance is dedicated to help us prevent what is an awful problem to have, especially during a pandemic, especially with folks with a lot of need at this point with preventing food waste. So I really encourage, help us spread the word. It's by helping folks and informing that they could sign up by going to our website. It's on our first page there of the clean webpage. So just a quick update on Cal Recycle's information on organics and what's coming up in a couple of years and the rules. So they're not, Cal Recycle has not yet developed the rulemaking or finalized the rulemaking. Basically, their legal offices are looking at ways to making sure that all the rulemaking is done properly, and it's still expected to be done at least by November. Meanwhile, we're not waiting for that. Republic Services is working on providing us a draft of what their plan will look like to handle organic waste from both residential and commercial here in Chula Vista. And we'll be presenting on that pretty soon once we get some additional information from them. So that's some of the information that's coming down. You'll be hearing a lot from us with that new program, which is really encompassing and paradigm changing, because just think of this, we'll need to make sure that at least 40% of our waste, which is all according to our studies is organic, needs to be separated, and more than likely will go on the green waste cart that you currently have in your house, including not just vegetative stuff, but also meats and everything that you could think of that's food waste and organic. So we'll expect a lot of your help to help us get the word out with this new program, as well as the big outreach that we'll be doing to our residents. So, and then lastly, you'll get, if you haven't already, an invitation from either our city clerk or our city attorney's office to do an ethics training that's happening on early next month, as part of Assembly Bill 1234. It's a 2-hour training online, of course. If you already are up to date with your training, I recommend if you can make the time, but especially for Commissioners Corrigan, perhaps, and also Commissioner Rodriguez, if you haven't taken this training, here's your opportunity on an evening. It's from 5 to 7, and you should get the invitation pretty soon. That concludes my report. Dennis, you have something to update?
No, I do not. I just want to say thank you to the commission. We also welcome the new chair, our vice chair, and we're looking forward to working with you.
Thank you, Dennis. Okay, so chair's comments. I'd like to mention 2 things. One is that Adriana and I are still working on the hydration station. We just submitted another grant, and we got an immediate response with questions the day that we submitted it, which was quite shocking. So we're keeping our fingers crossed and positive thoughts on that one. And that's the hydration stations for the high schools. And also that Coastal Cleanup Day is coming up. It's actually at the end of the month, but we are having a pre-Coastal Cleanup Day because I will be out of town that weekend. So this Saturday, if anyone's interested, we will be encouraging people to clean up their neighborhoods and taking charge of your own neighborhood. We will have all the supplies so you can check them out. Just contact me or South Bay Sustainable Communities Network. .org, and you can check out the supplies and work on cleaning up your own neighborhoods. Also, we are doing a kayaking cleanup. We have a few spaces available still left, so if you're interested, get a hold of us. Okay, and let's see, that's all for me. Commissioners, do you have any comments? No comments from commissioners?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Great job. You're almost under 2 hours, so excellent job there, Tina.
Thanks.
And then, yes, this Wednesday we're going to have a working group meeting at 3 o'clock on the 16th, and we're just going to go over the online survey, go over a couple of things that's come out of the climate change working group, and so that's at 3 o'clock if anybody would like to attend.
3 p.m. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. And it is 6:51 p.m. and I am adjourning this meeting of the Sustainability Commission October 12th, 2020 in conference room. Wait, not conference room. We know that. The same place. Anyhow, on the web. So thank you so much. Have a great one, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.